WWE SmackDown Live Results, Recap, Reactions June 4, 2019. Thank you. Next, Cageside Seats. I wish there was more to say about this. Goldberg is not a promo, he's a presence. WWE, that's Goldberg sweating his ass off trying to work his way through a promo just to get to the moment. This should have been condensed down to anyway. Undertaker showing up when the lights went out, Goldberg briefly believing he was making an entrance proper and chuckling when he realized that wasn't the case, before turning around into an intense stare down. That's really all they needed here. To that end, this was bad because asking Goldberg to speak at all isn't a great idea, but also good because they got around to doing the right thing in the end. Even if, just like on Raw, their timing was off. The way they put together the final promo segment between Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston was, to be nice about it, strange. The idea that he was right, too. Having said that, I love this story. Dolph Ziggler but it did for Kingston. He worked his ass off, and the crowd loved him for it. He worked his ass off. It's an even better story when you consider how it works into the meta. Even this is only moment of bliss. I really and truly despise the wild card rule and everything it represents. I just can't square 24/7 championship. I absolutely adore R-Truth, and the way he makes literally everything work. The fact that they knock. I enjoy Aleister Black's delivery in these pre-taped promos where he's begging for someone to pick a fight with him by knocking on his door. I just don't quite understand why he doesn't get up and go pick a fight himself. Rewind. Roman Reigns and Shane McMahon had basically the same segment on this show that they had on Raw. McMahon talked of Nightingale. Remember in the Jon Moxley interview where he talked about being deeply depressed, having to work in the creatively stifling environment that is WWE, being given scripts with just the worst copy in the world? It's all I could think. Andrade Balor. The interaction they got on this show was the definition of hey, just a reminder, these two are going to wrestle each other in a couple days. This show doesn't ever drag like Raw does, so even during the rough spots it doesn't feel terrible. But it's still like grade C+.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.